Hey everyone, I'm sure you've heard it before. We all should be getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. But real life happens, and as you know, it's just not always possible, especially if you're a mom or you run a business or both, like me. It just ain't happening to get that every single night. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you 5 tips on improving the quality of your sleep so that the hours that you do get really impact you and are the most effective and get you ready for the day ahead. So stick around and let's dive right into it. Hey everyone. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Ange. I'm a super busy mom and entrepreneur, and I am also a personal development junkie who loves to share all the stuff that I'm learning. So thanks for popping onto this video. And if you are into that kind of stuff, I would love to have you as a subscriber. To those of you who are coming back, totally appreciate it. Welcome back. So as I mentioned, today we're talking about improving the quality of our sleep because we can't always get the recommended hours of sleep every single night that the research tells us that we should. So my very first tip for improving the quality of your sleep is to really set boundaries around your bed so that your brain is triggered by that environment to be calming, relaxing, and therefore sleep inducing. And what I mean by that is to keep only calming activities to your bed. I know that I used to do a lot of work in my bed. I just found it more cozy, especially back when I was a student in college. I always used to study in my bed, do that kind of thing. But your brain starts to associate your bed with a place of learning. It starts to think that when you're getting into bed, it's time to do work. It's time to start processing some information, that kind of thing. And that will get your wheels turning in your head when you're trying to unwind and get to sleep. So I would really highly recommend that you only do things like reading something that's relaxing and for pleasure, not something learning. In your bed, before bed, doing some journaling. I personally am always have my high performance planner bedside because I do my morning reflection questions in here, and then I finish off my evening before bed, journaling and reflecting about my day. The other thing that obviously you can do in there is like meditation, that kind of stuff. Those are all sleep inducing and calming activities. Of course, getting intimate with your significant other is not off the books because again, that's not something that gets your brain kind of in a learning and active mode. So that way, every time you are hitting the pillow, your brain automatically knows that you are there to get some sleep and to get some rest. So you'll be able to fall asleep faster and your brain will kind of unwind and shut itself down much quicker for you. So that's my very first tip, is to set some boundaries around the activities that you're doing in your bed. Now my second tip is kind of similar to that, and it's really about setting up an environment that is conducive to sleep. There are tons and tons of books out there and research that has been done about sleep, so feel free to, Google it and check out some amazing research. But generally, you want to have a good temperature so that you're not waking up too hot or too cold and having a restless sleep throughout the night. Another thing that you want to think about is lighting. Myself personally, any hint of light in my room bothers me and I won't be able to sleep. If there are flashing lights outside, like I need very dark curtains, absolutely no lighting in my bedroom, and I've determined that that is the best way for me to sleep. The other thing that can help with sleeping, of course, is things like fragrance. Things like lavender and that kind of thing are known to be very soothing and calming. I personally have another diffuser just like this one in my bedroom, but the nice thing about those is you can flick off the lights and just have the oil diffusing without any light whatsoever. So I always put something very relaxing in before bed as I'm doing my journaling and that kind of stuff. And again, you might want to invest in some quality bedding. Have a good mattress, invest in some good pillows, make sure that your sheets and your duvet or comforter is something that you find very cozy. It's something that will put you to sleep and that you're comfortable in. Don't get into materials that are going to make you itchy and stuff. And It seems like it's common sense, but a lot of times those little things are things that we don't even think about, and it's really drastically affecting how much we're tossing and turning throughout the night. Now, my third tip is to not be looking at any blue screens for at least an hour before you plan on actually falling asleep. I've mentioned this before, of course. So that includes things like looking at your phone or watching TV or playing video games, basically any of those digital screens, because they emit a blue light. And again, this is all brain science and research has been done about it. When you're looking at blue light, it affects your brain, it keeps it awake, and it affects your quality of sleep. If you absolutely cannot avoid those kinds of screens, because I know sometimes I catch myself working far too close to bedtime, what I have done is I've invested into a pair of blue light glasses. So this brand is CYXUS. I assume it's pronounced Cyxus, but I'll definitely link it below. And you don't need a prescription or anything for them. They are just clear lenses. I will model them for you. But essentially when you pop them on, it blocks out all of that blue light. So nothing looks any different color, and you can avoid that contamination of that light into your eyes by purchasing a pair of these. So it's something to consider if you are someone who tends to do your best work at night or gets inspired and gets stuck into projects when you know you should be going to sleep, which is what happens with me. And that's why I don't end up getting my full 8 hours of sleep. I have all the intentions, but I get into something. So at least now I have these glasses handy, and I have an alarm set on my phone. And at 9 p.m., I put those glasses on no matter what, so that if I end up on my screens too long, at least I'm not getting that light. So that's my third tip, is no blue lights for at least 60 minutes. My fourth tip for improving your sleep is to kind of do a brain dump. This can be when you're journaling, doing a gratitude journal. This could be the only thing that you do during your journaling. But what I mean by a brain dump is basically anything that's running through your head that might keep you up at night. Any to-dos that you might have coming up that you wanted to jot down. Anything that you don't want to forget. Any list that you want to make. Any appointments or people that you need to call at a future date. All these little things I know personally, that's what keeps me awake if I'm having a hard time falling asleep. And I find that if I just get up out of bed, walk over to my desk, write out a list, and then get back into bed, I'm able to fall asleep easier because I'm not worried about forgetting it. I know I've written it down and I can deal with it in the morning. So dumping out everything that you need to do out of your brain, all of your anxieties, your stresses, anything like that, writing it down really, really helps. And also, I find it on the same way of having a brain dump is getting everything I need ready for the morning so that I'm not worried about that stuff either when I'm trying to fall asleep. And what I mean by that is if I'm planning on going to the gym, I know that my bag and everything is ready, laid out for me so I don't have to be running around in the morning. If I had any projects that I wanted to work on first thing in the morning, I make sure that I lay out all my materials. They're on my desk and ready to go for when I wake up so that I'm not wasting my precious miracle morning gathering things or running around searching for things. I can be very, very effective with my morning, and that really, really helps me fall asleep, knowing that everything is in order and everything's in place and there's nothing to worry about. So that's my fourth tip, is to do a brain dump and have your stuff ready for your morning. Now, my fifth and final tip for improving your quality of sleep is to really create a consistent routine. So you can incorporate a lot of the things we've already talked about in the first 4 tips, but trying to get to bed at the same time every single night and waking up at the same time every single morning will get your body more used to sleeping. And I know that's not possible. Many people work shift works where you can't go to sleep the same time one week that you do the other week because you're at work that time. But at least trying as much as possible to stay in some kind of consistent routine, and that means maintaining it on your days off as well. So try to at least look at your schedule and see if there's a general time that you could most nights get into bed and a general time that you're going to get up every morning. I know for me there are a couple of nights a week that I already know I'm not going to get into bed at a specific time, so that I make sure that I'm at least completing this nighttime routine no matter what time it is that I'm finally ready to hit the sheets, so that again, it's all routine for your body and your brain to wind down and get you to sleep. So some examples is to have a consistent activity. Maybe it's journaling. Maybe if you like to do puzzles, it would be doing a puzzle, reading a book that you enjoy just for pleasure. Excuse me, anything along those lines, having a hot tea perhaps, enjoying a bath with some bath salts or bath bomb, something like that, but creating a routine where you're doing the same thing every day before you get to bed. So I hope that those were helpful. If you can't get your 8 hours of sleep every night, well, at least maybe you can grab a tip or two from here, incorporate those into your habits, and you will see the difference that it will make. Even if you are getting 6 hours of sleep, you're going to wake up feeling a lot more refreshed, a lot less groggy, and a lot more accomplished already just by having a good night's sleep than if you didn't do any of the above things. So I appreciate you guys sticking around and listening to my sleep tips. Again, I really look forward to sharing some more stuff with you as I'm incorporating things into my life and learning them. So we will see you on the next video. Until then, bye for now.